Alright, yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy, kdeemo baby, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, I'll be talking about Jaylen Brown and basically his resurgence with the Boston Celtics. So if you are new, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and let's talk about Jaylen Brown in today's video. Jaylen Brown, for a time with the Boston Celtics, he pretty much improved almost every season as a superstar, and basically for a time the Boston Celtics. I remember there's many people saying to him that he couldn't fit with Jayson Tatum, he wasn't a good superstar, but this guy over time in the NBA, he basically regressed to a superstar. And as for the last thing, I can see why the Boston Celtics wanted to trade him for Kevin Durant, and he was basically mad at it. For Jaylen Brown, for right now, he basically already a 20 points per game scorer. He's basically having over 25 points per game, if I'm recording this correctly. And him and Jayson Tatum are just basically taking over the East. It's pretty much been crazy, and the work they basically done together pretty much as a duo has been absolutely insane. But Jaylen Brown, he pretty much played very good after the season. But let's look at the season numbers here and basically tell you what he's done. And I just want to basically just say it off the top of my head. So I don't have the numbers here, but I basically look at it on my phone. But Jaylen Brown, he's pretty much been a good superstar and pretty much underrated in my opinion. For Jaylen Brown, this season gave you 26 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. And as for last season, basically for the NBA Finals, he went off and he played very much well. As for Jayson Tatum, he was basically struggling in that final series. And for Jaylen Brown, he played very well in playing with the likes against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and many more guys even to come. But yeah, Jaylen Brown, he's been very good as a star and as basically a rising superstar in this league, and he's fairly underrated. A player who I'll compare Jaylen Brown to in the NBA right now is a player like Pascal Siakam, was on that same level, but he's already leading this Raptors team. But with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the same team, their duo as a unit is pretty much insane. And the Boston Celtics right now, they're basically hot in the NBA right now, as they have the NBA's best record, as they're 16-4 in the East, and they pretty much have almost the best offense in the NBA. So what more can you not ask for in having a basically a dynamic duo and basically with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum? But this guy, Jaylen Brown, he pretty much improved every year, and I'll break it down to you here. Jaylen Brown in his first season in the NBA gave you 6.6 points. Then in the next season gave you 14.5 and having an 8-point increase. Then basically he regressed a little bit and giving you 13 points in his third season. Then in his fourth season and fifth season gave you about 20 to 25 points per game. Then in his sixth season and seventh season to where he is now, he's basically scoring over 22 points per game. That's very good for Jaylen Brown's caliber. And as for his shooting presence, he basically is over for his career. If you want to say, he's basically shooting 47% from the field and shooting 37% from the 3-point line. So Jaylen Brown pretty much been good. But for Jaylen Brown, I remember when he was just a rookie being drafted in the NBA. Many people thought he wouldn't be to where he is today. As for now, he's basically almost an all-star type player. And though I don't really watch Boston Celtics basketball, I basically remember watching him in the final series a little bit. This guy, Jaylen Brown, basically research should basically a great player, man. And playing alongside Jayson Tatum is truly a blessing to the guys, because Jayson Tatum right now is basically having an MVP year. He's getting almost 30 points a game. And this guy, Jayson Tatum, is basically what he's looking at, is basically almost an MVP year like Kobe. This guy, Jayson Tatum, can pretty much win the MVP because the Celtics are pretty much the best team in basketball right now. And they're very much unstoppable. You have teams yes, you have the Warriors who basically didn't really start well. Yes, you had the Utah Jazz who are playing very well right now. Yes, you had the Phoenix Suns look very much better. Yes, you had the Mavericks that can jump out in the West. There's pretty much any team that can basically compete with the Celtics in the finals in the West. And then the East, you have the Bucks who are basically running their money. You have, 76ers that are pretty good. You have the Heat that can basically come back and basically just have a resurgence, though they don't really have a big. Then you have the Toronto Raptors, my favorite team to watch right now, Scottie and Pascal. There's pretty much a lot of teams to watch in the NBA, so the Celtics for Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, they're pretty much a hard duo to stop, but they're the best duo in the NBA for a reason, right? But what can I say? I'm basically not really a basketball analyst guy, but for Jaylen Brown, also a deep dive into also the advanced stats. If you want to go into this, to why he's basically an underrated player, he basically, right now, he's shooting over 60% from true shooting, and he has a usage rate of 30%, so that's very much good to see. And he has a steal percentage of almost 1.4 a game. So Jaylen Brown, man, he's playing alongside Jayson Tatum, so he doesn't really get that much respect. But for Jaylen Brown, and pretty much there's nothing more you can do, bro. This guy, right now for his resume right now you're looking at. He's basically a one-time All-Star, and he's an All-Rookie first player, but I think he had more on his resume, for being an All-NBA player, because this guy Jaylen Brown, he pretty much has it all, man. Like, I honestly, I wouldn't trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant, but basically, for Jaylen Brown, I think he can be a next Kawhi Leonard because he can play defense, he can shoot threes, he has a bit of a handle. If he can basically just have more ball handling presence, as I think he does have now, and as he has a bit now in Boston, though the Boston Celtics have Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart. I think honestly, for what the Celtics have, is pretty much special, and Jaylen Brown, he's pretty much an underrated star because this guy doesn't really get talked enough, and I basically broke down all the stats here. Yeah, for Jaylen Brown, he's been in the playoffs for his 4 seasons. I remember in his first 2 playoffs, he didn't really get to a high efficiency, or even in his 3rd playoff. Yeah, sorry, my camera died, so I gotta make this quick, but I pretty much am where I wanna be. So Jaylen Brown, like I said, for his first 2 playoffs, he didn't really play well, and for his 3rd playoff, he didn't really play well. But for his 2nd and 3rd playoffs, he gave almost 25 points, and he basically shot the 3 ball at basically over 30%. And he had a good field goal shooting close to 40%, so he played almost all the playoff games, so I'll give Jaylen Brown his flowers for that. But Jaylen Brown, he's basically the most underrated player in the NBA, and he doesn't really get respect for how he is now. But for Jaylen Brown, I think if he can get his respect and basically just for how he's playing now, I think him and Jayson can be the best duo in the NBA. And Jaylen Brown, I think, can be an all-star or all-star reserve, or he can pretty much be a starter for how he's playing right now. Because this guy Jaylen Brown is playing out of his mind, and I think he deserves all the respect he can get, because Jaylen Brown, I like the way he plays. He's very smooth, he's very fluent with the ball, and like I said, if he can basically just have his own team if he was on the Brooklyn Nets, I'd basically compare him to like a young Kawhi Leonard if he even got traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Kevin Durant, but he's still playing with a dynamic duo teammate in Jayson Tatum, so what more can you say? But yeah, for Jaylen Brown, I'll give basically a comparison to end this video off on like another like Kawhi Leonard type of comparison for when he was with Tim Duncan, or you can basically compare him to like another, who else can you compare him to, like he can play defense and basically get up and down, or you can also compare him to a Brandon Roy. But those are my comparisons for Jaylen Brown and why he's the most underrated player in the NBA right now. So if y'all like this video, please be sure to like this video. I hope to have more NBA content up soon. So if y'all are new and y'all like the NBA content along with rapper stuff, please be sure to go like on this video, and every thumbs up helps out, very much appreciated. And like I said, the subscriber count is at 295, so if we can get it to 300, that can be very much great. And it's your boy kdeemo. I want to get more rappers content and NBA content on this channel, so please be sure to like and make sure to watch the full video. And your boy kdeemo, and I'm out. Peace, man. Have a good day, y'all. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm out. Peace.